Bloodstained.
Welcome back to Synergy Bonus. A bunch of guys like to sit around, talk about games, and drink a fair amount. And the amount that we drink depends on the game that we're playing. Or in this case, these guys are playing.
Actually, I've noticed tonight is one of those few nights where we're all drinking something different.
I'm drinking my usual abomination of alcohol.
I mean, this is a different kind of abomination, but, you know, we gotta get rid of it.
This is not wine.
It's not?
No.
Is this just straight slow?
No. Taste it.
It's tasty.
It's a purple motherfuck up.
So it was slow gin.
It was slow gin,
Oh.
but there's more to it.
We sped it up?
But it's nice and dark red.
We sent the gin to remedial classes.
Continuing on.
I don't know that I have the strength. Alright, today we're actually kind of ahead of the curve. We're talking about Bloodstained. Bloodstained. Hemoglobin.
Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. Not to be confused with Curse of the Moon, which came out earlier
Last April.
Last April. Yep. No, this one just launched on June 18th of 2019. If you have an Xbox One, PS4, or Microsoft Windows. For those of us lagging behind on the Switch, it comes out Tuesday the 25th.
Hey, at least it's coming out in the same window.
And if you're on a Mac, I'm sorry, there's no helping you. You had the entirety of the 2000s to get with a real computer.
When Curse of the Moon came out, it was actually a stretch goal for this game. This was a Kickstarter game. When was it initially kickstarted?
The Kickstarter campaign for this game was launched May 11th, 2015. It's actually got a record book entry until another game came out for the largest amount of money that it hit by the end of its stretch goal periods. It raised $5.5 million.
So, give us some of the pedigree of what this is.
This is
a love letter to the Castlevania series
and Igarashi's essentially love child.
Kogarashi.
Koji Igarashi.
Okay, we weren't right on either.
Igarashi. Cool.
Yeah.
Koji Igarashi.
I didn't say the first name.
Koji Igarashi was let go from Konami because...
Oh, he wasn't just let go from Konami. There was a period of time where Koji Igarashi is the guy that gave us Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, Curse of the Moon, Dawn of Sorrows, all of
the Metroidvania series, essentially.
The revival of the Castlevania franchise in the late 90s on to about 2010. And then we got that little piece of shit that's called
Harmony of Despair.
Yeah. And then after that, we got that thing called frickin' whatever it is. Hi, I'm Gabriel.
Lords of Shadow.
Yeah. Don't talk about that.
That was Mercury Steam getting involved.
But the really classic, well-loved handheld and console Castlevania games from the late 90s on, that's Koji Igarashi. Mm-hmm. So he did those games, and then he got assigned to making dating sims for the phone in that department of Konami.
Because there's no future in platforming adventure games.
There's a little snippet I'm going to include here from his Kickstarter launcher, hopefully.
Is he going to be torturing someone with the rack? I love that scene.
Pretty much. But basically, it said that there was no desire for it, and he's basically Dracula from freaking Symphony, where he throws the wine glass down. I would have been sad, because this is a purple motherfucker up. But all of a sudden, hey, here's Kickstarter. Hey, guess what? People want this. And Konami's now...
Not only do people want this so badly, they threw so much money at it that he didn't know what to do with it.
No, I gave you the start date of when it was launched for the Kickstarter program. It started on May 11th. It ended June 12th and made $5.5 million. They had to redo these stretch goals several times because they would put it up and then an hour later they
break the stretch goal.
So, not only is there an appetite for Castlevania-style games...
There is a
beloved fan base that has been waiting for this and getting shat on with Mirror of Fate.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. So, I was a day one backer of this.
I backed it June 15th, so I just got a copy. I slack backed it.
I physical copied it, and we're going to get into physical copy coming a day early and some issues there, but so yeah, for me it was a day one thing. And
getting back to the pedigree, this is one of Konami's major devs that has made them millions of dollars with the projects he's worked on, was unappreciated, put in basically a don't cause trouble section of Konami.
So right with
coincidence he left around the same time that Kojima did.
Yeah. Imagine that.
So not only did this, he leave and went to Kickstarter, he's like, you know what? Hey, David Hayter, we would love for you to be in this game.
That was actually one of the first
stretch goals.
stretch goals that they met within an hour of the Kickstarter launching, was to have David Hayter voice the villain. And then they decided, no, we're going to give him a much larger role.
Zangetsu, the Asian
samurai demon hunter.
He was the main...
Or, as everyone is calling him, Samurai Snake.
Snake the Batosai?
So...
what's the girl in Guilty Gear that's got the claw arm?
Baiken.
Yeah, more like a...
Baiken.
Male Baiken.
Still dummy thick. But, so being a Kickstarter, I did get early access beta from one of the E3s and then another E3. And I could see the difference, but I could still see a lot of problems. Like, we went actually up to the Zangetsu boss fight the second time I played the beta. Everything is nice and cleared up from the beta. And the one reason why this game was taking a little bit longer is people were complaining that the graphics looked just muddy and just not good. I thought they looked just fine. But it got completely polished, and I'm sure that extended the time on this. But what we have now is a really solid-looking game.
It's kind of a cel-shaded looking game, really.
Oh, it's incredibly beautiful. Actually, it's one of the things they got a lot of flack on when they released a trailer for E3 a year or so ago, was it was alpha stage graphics. So this was very much, we got the mechanics working, here's all the placeholder stuff.
I just said that. Well, it wasn't even played. Like, that was like the graphics they were going to use, and it's like, it looks muddy, it looks muddy, it looks this, it looks like that. All of a sudden, it's like, you guys said something. He actually released a trailer, and he actually did a side-by-side comparison of what it looked like.
And also in this trailer, he's got all of the lists of everything that people are complaining about, while dressed like Dracula, drinking his wine. Throws the glass of wine and says, I'll prove them wrong!
And so he has.
I admire this man, just saying.
Koji Igarashi, he is just amazing.
This whole marketing campaign has been brilliant.
It's been brilliant. Well, let's get into the...
Well, we can also do just a little bit more backstory stuff for the Kickstarting thing.
Sure.
It launched around the same time of a
Mighty
game
Number 9.
Doug had so much hopes for, and when Mighty Number 9 came out, everyone, actually, Koji gave...
Jesus Christ, this is going to be another Mighty Number 9! Literal words and forms.
Koji Igarashi, before Mighty Number 9 came out, said he bets that the next Kickstarter for Concept the name? Concept would smash their record, and then Mighty Number 9 came out. It's like,
Well, remember,
that's why Red Ash never happened.
Yeah, I was going to say, the next Kickstarter from Concept was Red Ash, and it just... I haven't heard a word.
But there was actually a dueling fandom between the two Kickstarter projects. And after Mighty Number 9 came out, Koji had to do a lot of damage control of like, no, we are listening to everything you have said as a complaint.
And we're taking
we are addressing it.
Our time.
As a result, the game got moved back on its release date.
Twice.
It's still a little buggy, but then again, it also came out earlier this week.
However, around the same time too, Shovel Knight was out, and it was a Kickstarter success. So
like the Kickstarter
success. It's that when you see a Kickstarter, Shovel Knight is like literally the pinnacle of a game Kickstarter.
And right now, it's Shenmue.
Yacht Club Games should see if they should get like the rights to make him the Kickstarter mascot.
Well, Shovel Knight's in Bloodstained. Spoiler alert.
I've been farming these guys for 30 minutes, and he's yet to drop the shard to let me transform into...
I don't have the shard to transform. I just get the one where he just digs up stuff.
I don't even have that.
Oh, that's the only one I got from him, unless he's got...
I got the armor from him. I got a shovel. I've gotten steel.
Let's get into the mechanics and the story.
Have you tried to strike the earth? Never fails. Alright, so we said it's a Metroid...
I'm in a bulldog drive now.
It's sort of a Metroid game. It plays a bit like
a Metroidvania, like Symphony of the Night.
It's an Igavania.
Actually, it plays a lot like Order of Ecclesia.
Yeah, which, one again, Koji viewed that as his masterpiece to the extent that Shinoa's art style is even based off his wife.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I did not know that. I'm even more impressed.
But yeah, that was his kind of crown jewel of the Castlevania series, so you can see the influences. This is what the technology led up to.
See, I really did like Order of Ecclesia, so...
Order of Ecclesia was a great game. It didn't feel like a Castlevania to me.
It's that time frame.
Castlevania side stories,
but also like there was limited like NPC characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had Albus, and then you had the one preacher dude or whatever. I can't.
And then you had the villagers.
Yeah, the villagers who don't really count in my book. But,
but it's a Metroidvania. They're classifying it as an Igavania, so please, Nintendo, no sue. We don't mention word Metroid. No sue, please.
We're not even getting paid for this. So.
No. That was actually their reason for calling it an Igavania. Okay. They didn't want to get their asses sued by Nintendo.
Well, we aren't getting paid for this, But it plays very much like Order of Ecclesia in the sense that you beat the living piss out of enemies, and they have a chance to drop, in this game, a shard, which gives you a secondary ability.
And there's a list of them. There's ones you can control. There's ones that's just a spell you cast. There's passive ability ones. There's familiars. And then there's...
Always on, like your double jump and whatnot when you get it. And
then you have the ability to quick change clothes, which is so far the most useless one.
Well, I mentioned this to Trav earlier. I think it's set up mostly for different shards, so you can switch on the fly to that. I just manually do it. I
have like 3 settings: a boss fight setting, I'm farming people setting, and then I'm exploring. Yeah. That's it.
So let's touch on the story a little bit here, and then let's go into it. So,
now I understand this has nothing to do with Circle of the Moon story.
No, Curse of the Moon.
Curse of the Moon.
Circle of the Moon was...
It's an alternate continuity.
It is an alternate continuity. The characters are the same, and they do have histories together. Instead of Zangetsu being your main character in this, our main character is the Shardbinder Miriam. Shardbinders basically had crystals embedded into them to give them powers.
If you played the 8-bit version, she's the one that kind of looked like a Draenei.
And a Belmont.
And a Belmont with her moveset. Yep.
And basically these alchemists were, creating these Shardbinders and whatnot, and they ended up sacrificing them. All except for 2.
There's a setup. Basically, it's the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. Alchemy and magic is the thing, but with the rise of technology, hey, this is cheaper and easier, and we don't have to deal with fucking mages.
Yep.
Let's sign on for the cotton gin. And the alchemists are finding that they are losing their power and all of their backers. So the alchemists go, we're not going to stand for this. We're the guild system. We are the guild system, and death to capitalism. So we're going to summon an army of demons. Because that'll make people realize how much they need us. But yes, we're serving an army of demons. And to do that, we're going to go and create these Shardbinders, because humans can't handle demon magic. But they can. And for some reason, we're going to sacrifice all the Shardbinders, except for 2.
Miriam herself actually got into a 10-year coma, which spared her the sacrifice. And Jebel just managed to survive out of, pure will, I believe.
Yep.
Jebel is the other Shardbinder from Curse of the Moon. Thanks, Trav.
He was your Alucard.
Very well.
He was your Alucard. And he is the main antagonist in this setting. He basically just...
I have summoned Dracula, totally not Dracula's castle, from hell to lead an army of demons. Hi, sis.
Pretty much, that's kind of what it's like. Of the alchemists... we have Johannes, who's your primary supporter. He acts as
basically
a crafting shopkeeper, stuff like that. And the other alchemist is the other playable character from I'm going to say Circle of the Moon. God damn it,
Curse of the Moon.
Alfred, who was like a father figure to Miriam,
and
but also
Jebel and Johannes.
Yep, but he is the one who basically
is responsible
for everything. So he's running around this castle looking for a book.
The Libra Logaeth.
And Jeebel's doing his own thing, and yes. So the church has called in this other character to be your contact, an exorcist, Dominique, who acts as your shopkeeper.
And the token slutty nun.
In the town where Johannes and... Johannes or Johannes?
Johannes. It's Dutch.
And Dominique are... There's also townspeople that were spared the slaughter after...
Totally not Order of Ecclesia. We're totally not Order of Ecclesia.
But they act as you kill everyone because they murdered everyone person, which is nice because they actually added quests to go hunt down monsters, and the names, if you really pay attention, are all mostly Castlevania references.
Are these specific monsters, or is it I want you kill 10 zombies?
Specific monsters, like go kill
Dr.
5
Dr. Simon was killed by
this lion.
Lion monster. Kill 4 of them.
So
Dr. Simon.
Dr. Simon.
And also
Priest
Richter. Trevor.
Yep.
Annette.
Rosalie, Annette. I mean,
Teresa.
They're all there.
So we've taken the Simon challenge.
Yep. You've got a farmer who grows things for you. There's a other townsperson who wants to remember the dead and bury something from. So you got to turn in mementos to bury, which can be kind of.
And then there's the old lady that just wants to eat
everything
food.
under the sun. And like Miriam, I guess, is a big foodie because when you hand it to her, she's like, "Save some for me."
Well, it's also implied the reason that they have the whole making food recipes system in there is because you're very strapped on your supplies for this mission. Mm-hmm. Everyone's kind of undernourished, so you went through all the effort of making this old lady a pizza. She eats the whole thing in front of you, and you're like, save some for me.
See, I like that better than the concept of including a foodie in a horror game. Like, if you put a foodie in a horror game, the whole purpose is that they're the first one to die because it's satisfying.
But also, because you're so undernourished, the food products that you generate by harvesting the resources for making them from monsters, dragon egg omelet.
They give you boons.
Yes, they actually give you stat bonuses. So, like, cookies give you +1 to luck first time you eat them.
But Miriam really is a foodie because, like...
delicious.
Like, every time you eat one of them, it's just, you get the comment and everything. And
what are those? Transylvania prairie oysters. What? Well, they're sauteed minotaur testicles.
Tasty.
I want Zangetsu to say that. But... So, yeah, we mentioned Solid Snake himself is Zangetsu, our Asian sensation.
Zangetsu, if you eat that, you'll die. Yes.
But he's a demon hunter
from Japan
who's just doing his own thing.
He hates demons, he hates mages, and anyone to do with them. In his mind, the demons were the gun. The alchemists were the one that pulled the trigger. They all need to be taken apart.
And the shardbinders, the silencer,
they all need to be taken apart.
But it's nice to see David Hayter in a game like this.
Well, we're not seeing him so much as hearing him.
Right. But that's your main cast of characters right now. We're not going to get too spoilery and whatnot. Mainly because I haven't finished it. I'm going to get
I'm actually farther than Spoonie.
And this is the problem.
I wonder why. Yeah.
Okay. So, again, Kickstarter. I kickstarted a physical copy. So I got it a day before release. I put it in and I start playing. I start going to town. Release day happens for everywhere else. They throw a day one patch out. The day one patch breaks. It causes a game breaking glitch where chests,
treasure chests,
in areas that you haven't explored, some of them can be opened. This, I mean, it wouldn't be bad if it was just treasures or items or whatnot. No, we're talking like cannot progress story-wise because that was a storyline item and it thinks that I already got it. So yeah, that was unfortunate. I was like 6 hours in. I'm like, well, I might as well bite the bullet now, and I deleted it, started over, and I kind of sped through it now to get back to where I am. Did it in 3 hours this time. I wouldn't say I'm under-leveled, but I'm under-geared because all this like nice stuff that I had, I just don't anymore.
And I actually reset my save after he did, but The difference was he was on his way into work when he told me that. I was getting out of work. So I just designated the entire afternoon to, okay, we know exactly what we need to do.
Yep. So we've talked about how it looks. We've talked about the story. How does it handle?
It's tight. It's very tight. Especially since I'd say alpha beta build. I had issues where the character would just turn around for no reason or get caught on things and there was actually some input lag. None of that anymore. Everything is very tight, very deliberate. However, I'm using a controller on the PS4.
I'm playing keyboard for Steam, so I'm doing a WADS setup with mouse. I'm running into a lot of issues like Spoonie can do a drop kick when he's doing a double jump. I can't, because whenever I do that, I pull my weapon out and attack. So there's it was designed more for a gamepad setup with Steam. Even then, when it pops up oh, you can use your magic to open this door. Rotate the analog sticks. I'm like, don't have an analog stick, asshole. Oh, that means click on the right mouse button. They don't tell you this. You actually have to go and open your controls, and not the controls page where it shows a controller setup. It doesn't show you the keyboard. It shows you a controller. I'm like, I don't have a gamepad. I'm playing mouse and keyboard. Okay, control settings. Oh, that's the right mouse button. Thank you.
Glorious PC gaming master race indeed.
This is the same problem he ran into with Resident Evil 2 and not being able to sneak. They are
switching a lot of things over to be more gamepad specific, even with PC.
It's true. The problem is finding a good PC controller.
Support the channel. Send us some cash so we can get Thrift a controller.
I used to have one, and I only ever used it twice. It was really weird playing Skyrim with the controller and not the keyboard. I didn't like it. I wasn't able to go and charge up and murder fuck everyone in about 2 seconds flat by key binding everything.
Push button gameplay self. This is not Warcraft. Anyway.
I'm not a hunter.
Who played the paladin.
I'm not a hunter.
I never did that in Warcraft. I had an emote to G-kick someone who came back to the guild every time. But
I didn't even have a macro for being a paladin. I was actually the specifically wrong spec.
Yeah, I just macroed /charge to the charge feature.
Warcraft. We'll talk Warcraft. I think that's important.
Yes.
But anyways, Bloodstained. You asked about the control. It's very tight. There was something that actually you pointed out to me that I didn't realize until it happened. There's a boss fight, one that glitched on me today. Pissed me off.
Oh, I've had a couple of glitches.
It's the twin dragon fight on this tower. When I did it the first time, it took a couple minutes. Literally, just murked it, moved on. I got back there today. I'm like, why isn't this thing dying? And I quit. And I saved the video and I looked at it. It was over at least 9 minutes, and I'm like, what the hell?
It was just bugged out. Actually, he'd started well before I got here.
Yeah, and he got here and watched
and I was like, why don't you just do A? That worked for me.
And I'm like,
I watched him do enough damage to kill the boss.
Right. So, anyways, that glitch, I just restarted it. It actually went down in a minute and a half, I'd say. But anyways, during this fight, it takes place on a spiral tower. Travis watching, and he's like, this is making me nauseous because the way the camera turns and whatnot. I'm like, well, maybe it's because you're not playing it.
No,
but the thing is,
I hate fake 3D like that.
The thing is, he's like, because of it, he noticed that my attacks, which should have been connecting, were not by ever so slightly because of the forced perspective.
2.5D.
At any place where he wasn't on the rotating tower, the hitboxes were perfect.
On the PC end, I've had an issue of just random crashes.
Yeah. Which, that happens.
Yep, there it is. Nothing happened. I was just walking through loading rooms.
And on a high note, how's the game sound?
Game sounds
amazing. They got the composer that worked with Iga from his Castlevania days.
It might just me not be paying attention. There is some music from Curse of the Moon that's in this. the game actually starts on the galleon, which actually is featured in Curse of the Moon. The track is the exact same, and it's gorgeous sounding. Honestly, what's kind of like disheartening for me is like I can't remember the boss battle music.
It's kind of like the freaking. It's got a similar tempo to like Symphony of the Night's boss music, where up till then it's been like this one-woman wails orchestral music that's fitting for the area. No, here's some freaking heavy metal.
But the thing is, like in Curse of the Moon, the boss battle music, like you had your like little intro, the boss came out, and then you had this nice boss battle piece. I wish it was the same piece, and it's not. However, a good chunk of the bosses are the Twin Dragons for one, the Blood Vampire, and
Bloodless.
There's one of the other ones here too.
You've got
the thing that you fight on the boat. I don't even know what to call it. The electric thing, but it's where you get the double jump in this. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we're still going through it. Like
I'm assuming it's supposed to be some sort of Tengu, but you know.
I'm actually amazed with the names for a lot of the enemies that show up in the game, and also with the references to the Liber Logaeth. They did a lot of research on the Lesser Keys of Solomon for this game. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, here's a guy that's shown up in several Castlevania games. He called a bear. That is a demon out of the Lesser Keys of Solomon. Mm-hmm. Gremory, the reoccurring villain.
Which was the final boss in...
I can't even remember the name. That thing with the lion head. And
yes, that's what the bear, or whatever his name is. Mm-hmm. I'm mispronouncing it right now, but I also had a drink.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's a monster out of the Lesser Keys of Solomon. Gremory, Lesser Keys of Solomon. That's like a Duke of Hell. Freaking Baal. You got all of these things, and then they're referencing, oh, this is demons. Oh, that's the most powerful demon out of the 72. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's not Lucifuge. I mean, if it's Lucifuge, run for your fucking helmet. It won't even matter at that point.
While we're on the subject of sound, this game's fully voice acted.
Yes, it is. And
I heard some voices that I didn't think were appropriate, but...
Let me guess. Townspeople.
Yes.
Okay.
Kill those murdering bastards!
Kill those murdering bastards! Like, she is all about the murder. Like...
A woman after my heart.
And your lungs, perhaps.
And my kidneys. To make kidney pie for the old lady.
There's another NPC. His name's Benjamin, and you find him, and he's just lost in the castle. He's like, do you have anything that can help me get home here? Just think of your home, and you give him an item. And he goes, and she's like, well, you know, that worked, and everything worked out. So later on, I'm going along, I find a hidden room, and there he is, and she's like, Benjamin, what are you doing here? Well, I thought of this really pretty waterfall before I used the item, and here I am. And then you use it again, she's like, should I assume that worked or not?
And she even tells him, think of your house this time.
Nothing else.
So, yeah. That's...
Actually, Miriam's voice is one that I don't particularly care for. It's not a bad voice, it doesn't fit my concept of the character. From
I've got an issue.
Is there something I can help you with, human?
That or...
And what of it? Will you murder me for that alone? I've picked no quarrel with you. My name is Orlok Dracul, but you may call me O.D. I oversee this library, Miss...
Miriam.
Of course.
There it is. I'm not sure if it's my sound card or if there's something, a bug with the Steam version, but yeah, right there, that audio distortion whenever she talks, it does it half the damn time.
It's a known bug. It was part of the patch.
It wasn't fixed.
I don't have that bug. Period.
Yeah, I've still got it.
I never had the bug to begin with.
The footage right there that I'm using, pointing to, of her talking with it, that, I recorded that this morning. Mm-hmm. And the patch hasn't fixed it. So,
like, that could be just a computer thing.
It's not happening to any other voice file, so...
It was PC only, it's just Miriam's voice file, they know about it, supposedly the patch was supposed to address it, clearly it did not.
So it's like Herobrine. We've removed Herobrine in this patch.
We think.
We've added Herobrine back in this patch. And removed him.
I don't mind Dominique's voice. Jeebles is good. The Albert
Alfred.
The old man?
Oh, the old man. His
Like Batman's butler, Alfred.
little off. Not what I've thought of for him.
Then you got OD's voice.
I don't like his voice. He's the only voice I don't like. He talks like he wants to be Alucard from Symphony of the Night.
That's because it is.
Of course, Miriam. Although you would be my friend. As long as you are here, why not avail yourself of their boons?
He came back from
He
voice
phoned
acting.
it in.
They
Is
brought
what
him
he
out
did.
of retirement and they phoned it in.
Like, wow. That's fortunate. I mean, he does. Like, he sounds bad. Like, he does. Like, I like the concept of him. He runs a library. Hey, take out my book, but remember, this is a library, not a bookstore. Please
Hint,
return what you borrowed.
Return the book, or you get a Renfield fight.
So, the game's just it's been a wonderful experience. I'm looking forward to finishing it.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of extra content coming out for this.
One of the things that Ego said in one of the release trailers, that doing this game right, there will be 17 DLCs. And they'll all be free.
Yep.
Yes!
Also,
The only acceptable DLC is free.
what I think we already have another playable character, which is Zangetsu, which I'm looking forward to.
There's 2 more.
Yep. So
And there's probably
curious.
going to be a nightmare mode and all that
Keeping with
stuff.
the-
Nightmare, boss rush, you know, all
Keeping
this
with the
stuff.
4 playable character things set down in Curse of the Moon.
That'd be interesting to see.
So Zangetsu, you wouldn't get Jeeble just because he's the villain for most of it. You might get Alfred, or we'll probably get Alfred. I'm thinking you're going to get Johannes as a Belmont
he has a
expert.
whip.
Yeah, his artwork shows a whip at his side, like a Lieber on the other side. So I'm figuring he's going to be like a Huste.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be that. You're going to get the whip user. You're going to get the alchemist caster. You're going to get the fireball, totally not Alucard style character, and then you'll get either another Zangetsu. Well, we actually are already getting Zangetsu, so we already know that.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, but excuse me.
Maybe we'll be surprised and get a Grant Dynasty.
Stealing your jewels. Yeah. From what I've played of it, like, I just enjoy it. I'm gonna give this a high 9. Like, yeah, like it's great. Like, does it still have some little polishing issues? Of course. I mean, the game just released, which is sad to say. The game just released. There's still some things and whatnot. Yeah. But like, they put a lot of time and effort into it, and
This isn't a Bethesda.
this isn't a Mighty Number 9 situation, okay?
And it's also not a Bethesda soft work. So if there's these bugs, we'll rely on the modding community to fix them. Which has been their response to every game since Oblivion and Morrowind.
The companies like listened to any like complaints, anything. They're taking everything pretty seriously. They want to make this launch window here very smooth and enjoyable as possible. I know Trav's going to be getting to it a little bit late because he's on the Switch, but I'm curious to see how the difference is for you, because like, you've heard some of the woes that we've had, but maybe you'll just have this and whatnot. So,
Well, it's been a recurring theme because I get stuff later than you do on some Nintendo-based thing. So when I got my copy of Mighty Number 9, it didn't have a lot of the same bugs and glitches. Because I'm smart enough not to pre-order shit.
I slack back, so I only put down the cost of a game.
I pre-order things because I can just throw money at it and then it's paid off. Because dropping $60 on a game when it comes out kind of sucks sometimes. So, like, that's why I pre-order stuff. That's personally me. And that's something we can talk about another time, like some stupid store stuff like that. Anyways, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, Igarashi, and yeah, it's
Good times.
phenomenal. Go play it. So, good night.
Fuck you pachinko game making fucks. Make me another Castlevania. A good one. Like this shit.